Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And of course, the program is re-aired on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Yes, it might conflict with your ball game, but we've got news that a lot of you go switch back and forth. When they take a break, we're back on.
But our favorite teams, the Cowboys and the Saints, they kind of shaky. They might not conflict very long. I don't know if they'll get to go. I don't know if they'll play many more weeks. Ooh, they're struggling, both of them.
And then, of course, many of you are watching it on various, and I'm going to say various, and I'm going to open my eyes at devices, because we just learned of a brand new method of watching the Bobby Dupre Show. Do you have that available, that picture?
I was supposed to have that picture. Did I actually put it on here or not?
You put it. We'll have to put it on.
Oh, I do have it. Hang on. It ain't far. This is our good friend Robbie Vauchier sent us this photograph. He was working out, I think it was Cajun Fitness he was working out at, or one of the health clubs here in town. And while he was on the I don't know what you call that machine, I guess it's a treadmill. He had the Bobby Dupre Show on his screen, on the LCD screen on the treadmill. Now, if y'all would like to.
That was last week's too. That was last week's program.
So if y'all would like to, wherever you are and you're watching the Bobby Dupre Show, send us a photograph of you watching the Bobby Dupre Show, wherever you might be, whether it's the health club, it's off the wharf somewhere, maybe you're
fishing,
watching,
or you driving down the highway,
TV
and somebody's
at the
got
house,
the TV on in the car,
sure,
your cell phone,
computer. Just
you're on a fishing trip in the middle of the Mississippi River, like I did the radio program. We stopped the boat in the middle of the river, and somebody
from a duck blind one time.
Duck blind in Pecan Island, all kind of different ways. So we'd create a little bit of fun, and at the same time, we'll talk about you a little bit if we can.
And thank you, Robbie. Robbie's an attorney that's from this area. Was a big baseball player. Played at OC, I think. Went to Notre Dame University. I mean, Robbie's kind of a man of all seasons. Been around all kind of places.
Fine. His daddy, Mr. Bob, he didn't steal being a nice guy. Mr. Bob Vautier operated Church Point Wholesale Liquor Company here. He was married to one of the Horricky girls, so that's the connections there with the Church Point and the Horrickys. And
one of the uncles maybe was a World War II hero, and so I mean, a lot of history with the Vautier family. Good morning.
You bet.
How about some sponsors while we plug in some folks? Let's go first with
they
pay the bills.
And I want to add something before you even name.
Alrighty then.
If you have an opportunity, please support these, because they make this possible. And you say you like the program. Well, we like it, but you know, this is a new ball game. Delta Media has to pay a lot of expenses, and they need we need the sponsors to make sure the Bobby Dupre Show continues forward.
And the sponsors need your business to make it all worthwhile. So when you go by, you say, Bobby and Andrew have sent you to go by, and just said, you know, I'm here to get something.
Yes.
So if you want to go, one of the good places to start, let's start with Steamboat Warehouse. You know, I went this past week to Steamboat Warehouse. Food, always excellent. Service, always excellent. You know, it's the holiday time. The tables were filling up in the restaurant real fast. I said, do you want to sit in the main restaurant, or would you want to sit in the bar? I said, well, you know, given my years of experience in the bar, I'm very familiar with that end. So they put me over there, and here came Chad Pete and Tommy Dejean and a whole host of all my old buddies that stopped to shake hands. We saw Jim Lopez and Babs came by. We saw Jay with Prairie.
Jay Winfrey.
With Prairie Construction. Is it construction? Is what? Yeah. Contractors. Used to be construction, but it's contractors, because they do. Correct.
They bought Laddie James's company, which was Prairie Construction, and the James Corporation. That was another. He operated his land. All his land interests were in James Corporation and James Construction. Laddie James Construction, and then now it's the James Contractors. No.
Prairie.
Prairie, I'm sorry, Prairie. That he was, Laddie Jane was from Prairieville, Louisiana.
That's the
where the
connection.
prairie
That's
comes
the
in.
connection. So I ordered, of course, the catfish palmetto that night. My kids said, you always
usually
order that. So, well, you know, that's the best thing. If you go to Mike Anderson's in Baton Rouge, tell them you want the Guitro, it's the same dish. You know, it's all named after me, wherever you're going to go. You know, that's how it works. But the food was excellent. The service was excellent. Had a cold eau douce. You know, maybe you're looking to, you're the driver, designated driver, and you don't want to be getting in no kind of trouble. Have an eau douce there, a cold drink. They've got plenty of adult libations, great wine, the wine selection out of this world. All the food was excellent. At the table they had gumbo, they had steaks, they ate shrimp. Escargot I saw was on the menu this week. We had some of the shrimp wrapped oysters and shrimp together, what they call it, shrimp en brochette. Angels on horseback, what some of them call them. All good food. Go by the Steamboat Warehouse. And another sponsor, let's go with, while we're on the northern end, maybe you're going to stop at the Quarters Casino on your way through and try your luck at gaming. Go in the casino there and try to see if you can win against those machines. And
New machines.
That's right. All brand new. All was redone.
Had that little flood, heavy rain that flooded that particular area. It flooded our new tourism center.
Correct.
And flooded them just a few inches, but it gave them an opportunity to shut down for a couple of days, put brand new carpet in, and a lot of new machines.
As a good friend of mine likes to say, you got a chance to make a problem an opportunity, and they made an opportunity out of it. You go in there, they got all the great Stuckies, candies, they've got crispy, crunchy fried chicken, they've got Subway sandwiches, they've got the Brothers Pizza that's there as well. They've got Chevron gas and diesel. If you got the nice fancy German automobile that takes the good diesel, you can do that, or your big old truck, or any kind of gasoline, they got that as well. Go by Quarters Casino.
And coming out of Mass Sunday morning right here in Washington, Immaculate Conception, beautiful. If you haven't been, I know quite a few people know that I attend that when I'm around town, and they asked me, how did the job come out? It is really beautiful. If you haven't been, it's a good place to go by and attend Mass, and you're going to meet a lot of people that you know, because there's such a closeness between Opelousas and Washington. And after Mass, Jesse Howard with Howard Pool Company here in Opelousas, they've been in business, I guess, something like 35, 40 years now, very well established. And their work, a lot of it is right there in the Lafayette Parish area, and all of Acadiana, of course, and he's needing some part-time workers. Now that you don't hear that very often. They can work 2-3 days a week, and he'd like. You could have a little age. You want to build up, give them a day's work.
A little physical.
A little physical, but something that most people in good health, maybe retired at 55 years old, and you bored already. That happens over and over. So Jesse Howard with Howard Pool Company could use you, and good guy. And you know, we used to think about all the driving time. When I worked with Mud Supply Company, we worked real hard when we loaded the trucks up and when we unloaded them. But at driving time, in between driving to the site, the oil well site,
you could relax.
Then we'd unload, and boy, we'd hustle. Then we'd come on back. Well, we had that driving time. Well, this basically, most of their work is 25 miles from home, from Opelousas in Washington, so you get some driving time.
And while we're talking about Washington, while I was at Steamboat the other night, I saw Pam and Dwight Landreneau that were eating there, and I said, you know, tell Miss Ethel hi. You know, she sends us, I teased them, I said, I think out of 4 weeks a month, we get 3 weeks, we get a little note from Miss Ethel with some of the projects the Garden Club is doing.
Pam was the lector at Mass yesterday.
There you go. So I got a note from Miss Ethel and the whole group of the Washington Garden Club that coming up on Sunday, December 29th, that's just a week away, they're going to have Mark Ollier is going to be presenting his book and signing his book about the genealogy of the Hinckley families, the Gardner families, and the Norton families. That's old Opelousas, old Washington families. You're going to want to go by. He's a great kid, writes very good, and his mama, Miss Rose, would be so happy if you came out and supported him.
And
what else we got?
I want to wish a continued healing progress to my little daughter, Megan. Megan finished her exams at Tulane on Thursday night at about 5 o'clock. Her last final was, they had a 3-hour time period to take the exam, so it must be pretty tough.
Pretty intense.
Pretty intense, from 2 to 5. She got in her car and drove home and got up about 4 o'clock in the morning, had to be there for 5 in Lafayette, had surgery on her foot. Nothing serious, but painful. And checked with it. By the way, we taping the program Monday. The staff with Delta Media, who tapes our program, they're going to be off Tuesday, and of course Wednesday is Christmas Day. So we are here Monday morning. She was trying to get in touch with her just to find out the progress and all, and talk to Ginger, her mama, and Ginger says that it's been kind of tough, and the doctor had just examined her foot and found everything to be in line with what the progress should be after about 3 days.
And she did it the day after final, so she's got all the time and the off between semesters to try to catch up.
And that's all she'll be able to do is try to heal.
That's right.
Because you got to walk on these campuses, a lot of walking,
no
and she's going to have to use crutches for a few days. So anyhow, they're young, they're going to heal up, and she'll forget all about it.
She'll forget about that when she dances at her wedding, right? That's what they all say. You know, anytime you got a pain, when you dance at your wedding, you won't remember that. And
I just want to thank the personnel, the owners of Dupree Carrier Gacho, Jenny, Kevin, Joe, and Willie for the beautiful fruit basket that I was given, and I appreciate it very much. And just to show appreciation, I brought it over to Megan's house because they're going to have a lot of company, and she needs to be eating fruit right now, something healthy. So I'm having to go over there, and that's not bad. See my daughter at the same time and get that good banana.
And banana with your breakfast. That's your routine.
I think that's from one of the Gidrick companies in produce in Orneville. I just saw Orneville, and I think I saw Gidrick, so it must be one of the Gidrick's companies. There's 2 companies. There's the
Mama's got the company in Orneville, and then one of the sons, or 2 of the sons, Kevin.
Kevin has, he does the pre-cut.
Some of that too, right? Yeah. Ready cuts is what they call it. It also has a big fruit market right there in Lafayette as you go into town.
Mall Street.
I'll go there.
Good people. But anyhow, thanks. And so many gifts came in. And
everybody can see that you're not eating much candy. You're sticking to mostly fruit. I mean, you slim down over the year.
Oh, I tell you what.
You're skinnier than me.
Just keeping that weight below 180, and it's been easy. With spite of Sunday night, we were treated.
Terry
Guidry, who is manager of our
what they call recovery
office for OPAC, and he is really a chef. I mean, he puts out a spread.
World class.
And when he left last night, it's like nothing had occurred at the house. He brought all his dishes. I mean, it was all prepared. I mean, just
as he's gone, the dishes are getting out your way. They're serving.
Just beautiful and
what was it? Pear truffle and a fudge, and we had 3 types of roast
and gumbo. The sweet potatoes? Now that was a
soul food, sweet potatoes
that I had given him a couple of weeks ago. Those come from E&L Produce in Grand Prairie, Louisiana. Faubourg, maybe you'd even go so far as call that Faubourg where they're located. Right in Evangeline Parish, and the Evangeline variety, if you want some good. And all he does is bake them and scoops the. It didn't cook.
They're sweet. They're sweet.
It's unbelievable how good they are.
We're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll see you folks on the other side of 1 minute while we're talking about food and fun times.